hallelujah, 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 kol hanshama. Hallelujah, 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 kol hanshama. Hallelujah, beteka shofar. Hallelujah, benevel vechino. Hallelujah, betok umachot. Hallelujah, beminim ve'ugar. Hallelujah, 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 kol hanshama. Hallelujah, 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 kol hanshama. Hallelujah, betzilzalei shama. Hallelujah, betzilzalei trua. Hallelujah, betzilzalei shama. Hallelujah, betzilzalei trua. Kol hanshama tehalelia. Kol hanshama, kol hanshama tehalelia. Kol hanshama, tehalelia. Hallelujah, kol hanshama, tehalelia. Hallelujah, kol hanshama. Hallelujah, 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 kol hanshama. 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 Hallelujah, hallelujah, oh hallelujah, 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 kol hanshama.
I lift my eyes to the mountains.
Where does my help?
Where does my help? Where does my help come from? I lift my eyes to the mountains. I lift my eyes to the mountains. I lift my eyes to the mountains.
Where does my help?
Where does my help? Where does my help come from?
Good evening, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're glad you are here with us as we welcome Shabbat together at Temple Beth-El from our living room. And wish you all not only Shabbat Shalom, of course, but a very happy and a healthy new year as we welcome 2021 together. If you're joining us on Zoom, Joel is just posted the link to our prayer book in our chat. If you're on one of the other platforms, you could look on our website under the worship tab, and you'll see not only the streaming link, but the link to our prayer book as well. And we're going to begin tonight with the words of Shalom Aleichem, which is on page 24.
Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashem Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashem Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kochem Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashem Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruch Hu Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashem Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Tzedchem Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashem Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hashem Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malchei HaMelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we will begin with lighting our candles on page 2.
I think
Our candle lighter is not there. Okay, so please join me in lighting candles. See our candles? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Please join me in Kiddush on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'hava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim Ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Chaim.
And we'll continue now as we turn to page 12 and join in L'chu Niranana.
L'chu Niranana l'Adonai Nariah L'tzor Yishenu L'chu Niranana לצור ישנו נקדמו פניו בתודה בזמירות נריע לו לכו נרננה באדוני נריע לצור ישנו נקדמו פניו בתודה בזמירות נריע לו נקדמו פניו בתודה בזמירות נריע לו.
And Tov Lehodot, we continue with from Psalms 92 on page 22.
טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון. טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון.
And we'll continue as we welcome the Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi, which is
Page 20.
on page 20. We'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. If you're in somewhere where you could rise as we say the words Bo'i B'Shalom at the end, as we welcome the Shabbat bride, we encourage you to do so. The tradition is you enter, you don't just turn around. You're actually supposed to enter, face the entrance to the room that you're in. So it might actually be, in my case, it's right there. You can't see, but that's my front door right there. And we're going to welcome the Shabbat bride to come and join us in for Shabbat. So, Lecha Dodi.
לך דודי לי פרקלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לי פרקלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. שמה וזכר בדיבור אחד השמיענו, מיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. שמו תפארת ולהיטילה. לך דודי לי פרקלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לי פרקלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ומחכים את פה המלאכה מראש מקרב דזוך הסוף מעשה במחשבת תחילה. לך דודי לי פרקלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לי פרקלה, הנה שבת מקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי כי באורך בוני אורי
We will invite you, if you're on Zoom, if you want to go ahead and turn on your video, unmute yourselves. We'll take a moment so we could greet one another. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Hi,
Shalom, Al.
everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Here we go.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom. Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
Shalom.
Here we go.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Healthy one.
Absolutely. And we'll go ahead and we'll continue with the Reader's Kaddish,
Page.
which is on page 26.
יתקדש יתקדש שמי רב אמן. דעמד יברח ירצב ימליך מלכותך. בחייכון וביומכון ובחייך בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם הוויה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן.
We continue with Baruch Hu, page 28.
baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai.
And we continue on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bidbaro ma'ariv arabim b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim uvitbuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umisader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla umavdil ben yom uvein layla Adonai Tzebaot Shemo El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimoch Alinu Yolam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Hama'ariv Arabim. On page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me, did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You may
Seated.
Please join me in V'ahavta on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך, בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת.
Page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Page 42. Grant that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and our coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapares sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim.
ושומרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
We continue now with the Amidah. As able, please rise. We continue on page 46.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha. 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 Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Elion, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Ilmahot, U'Mevii Geula Libnei Bneihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav v'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechaker chaim b'chesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Nichai mocha bal gevurot, U'midor melech, Melech memit u'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom ya'alelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. We continue on page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat. You are with us in our prayer, our love and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'orcha levarcha b'yirah na'avod. Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ucha na'eh lehodot. We offer a prayer for peace on page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, v'shalom. We pause now for a moment of a prayer for healing, to remember loved ones in our community who are ill, in need of healing of refuat hanefesh and refuat haguf, healing of the soul and healing of the body. We'll share those names with you momentarily on the screen. Those who are in our community's prayers, we invite you to share anyone aloud or to think them in your own heart who's also in your prayers for a refuah shlema, for a healing.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Yisheberach imotenu v'kor habracha lavotenu, as those in need of healing, with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. I invite you now to take a moment for your own silent meditations.
This Shabbat in our Torah reading cycle, the book of Genesis comes to an end. The book begins with the words, Bereshit bara Elohim. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And it concludes with the death of Joseph, whose tumultuous life comes to an end with him reconciling with his estranged brothers, surrounded by family, as we read. Joseph died at the age of 110 years, and he was embalmed in a coffin in Egypt. Often in literature, a reader knows how a book is going to end, after reading just a short portion at the beginning. While the beginning and the end may be revealed by the author, the details in between are the heart of the author's intent, and the reader is taken on a journey on the pages in between. Of course, Genesis is nothing like that. It's a wild story, starting with the creation of the world, followed by the tumultuous and often dysfunctional stories of our ancestors' lives. Like an adventurous novel, Genesis has twists and turns in its storyline, leaving the reader guessing at what may come next. For someone reading it for the first time, it would be impossible to foresee the rest of the book after reading just the creation story. It's fitting that we conclude Genesis on the first Shabbat of 2021. If there were ever a year that had twists and turns that we never could have anticipated the preceding year, 2020 was it. It was undoubtedly the strangest year in my lifetime, as I'm sure it was, as many of you would concur it was in yours as well. Who could have thought in the first Shabbat of 2020, just a year ago, that the majority of our services this year would have been led from our living rooms? That instead of the Wolf Sanctuary, we would gather together weekly in front of our computers, our phones, our tablets, and televisions. At the beginning of 2020, most of us never heard of social distancing. We had no experience with Zoom, didn't even own a facial mask, never took a class online, never picked up groceries via curbside delivery, and so on. Virtually every facet of our lives has been profoundly affected by the pandemic in ways we never could have envisioned a year ago. The world changed in 2020. And while the coming weeks may be even more challenging, with infection rates in many areas throughout our nation at alarming levels, there is reason to be optimistic. Vaccines are here, and they're remarkably effective. In addition to those who work in healthcare, residents and staff of lawn care facilities in Bexar County began receiving vaccinations this week. And next week, phase 1B will begin, with vaccinations being given to people 65 and older, as well as those 18 and older with certain chronic medical conditions. As more of us get vaccinated, life will gradually get back to some semblance of normalcy, though things will undoubtedly be different than they were pre-COVID. I plan to get vaccinated as soon as I'm able to do so. I hope that all of you plan to do so as well. As a sidebar, Temple Beth-El is co-sponsoring a Jewish community COVID vaccination town hall on Thursday, January 14th at 7 o'clock in the evening. The program, which I hope you will attend on Zoom with me, will be moderated by our own Temple president, Dr. Amy Benedict, who is a pediatric anesthesiologist. Panelists will include also Temple Beth-El members, Dr. Ruth Berggren, an infectious disease specialist, and Dr. Tyler Curiel, who specializes in immunology. Both are leading experts in their fields, and they are both particularly skilled in explaining complex medical concepts in terms that lay people can understand. Keep an eye out for special emails and social media postings, which will have event details and registration links. Back to our Torah portion. Our portion ends with the phrase, and the book of Genesis ends with the phrase, Joseph was embalmed and placed in a coffin in Egypt. Just before his death, Joseph instructed his family to bury him in the land of his ancestors. As readers concluding the book of Genesis, we know that there will be more to the story. And by ending with the word Egypt, the Torah foreshadows the next book of the Torah, Exodus, which takes place generations later in Egypt. The last word of Genesis functions as a transition to Exodus. I think we can see today, January 1st, the first Shabbat of a new year, as a similar transition. Most of us have been ready to put 2020 behind us for quite some time. And today, as we begin 2021, we have reason to be optimistic for the new year that is beginning. There's a beautiful Israeli folk song, Bashana Haba'ah, next year, which offers a hopeful view of a time where all can enjoy peace and tranquility. The song, written in 1970, has become a popular anthem in Israel and throughout the Jewish world, one we turn to in challenging times as we work together towards a better tomorrow, a time in the near future where things will be better. A few weeks ago, 2 musicians from the San Francisco Symphony released a moving, sweet, and uplifting version of Bashana Haba'ah, which they recorded in their homes with their children. The vocal soloist is the violinist's daughter. The release was timed with Hanukkah and in anticipation of the new year. While the Hebrew is the same as the original composition, they offered a new twist on the English rendition. I want to share it with you now as a song of hope, a song of promise, as we begin the new year. It brought tears to my eyes when I heard it, and I encourage you to go ahead, turn up your volume, enjoy this next 3.5 minutes of sweetness. O Tirei, Kama Tov Yihiyeh, Bashana Haba'a. May we see how good it will be in the new year. Shabbat Shalom. Happy New Year.
We will continue with Aleinu on page 283. Please rise if you are able. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגלור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. We note with sadness the death of Pat Shek Cohn, mother of David and Lisa Cohn and Jerry Cohn and Tim Moravitz, grandmother of Richard Moravitz, Sarah Moravitz, Rebecca Moravitz, Heather Smith, Danielle Cohn, and Katie Cohn. A memorial service will be live streamed on Sunday, January 3rd at 11 a.m. on the Temple website. And we will continue with the memorial meditation on page 289, number 3. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full, but as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen, yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. This Shabbat, we remember those whose yahrzeits fall on this Shabbat, who died at this time in years past. Marion Abrams, Sarah Adelman, Bernice Alterman, Eliyahu Arbel, Mark Baloff, Jay Bass, Mac Burler, Sarah Bernstein, Donald Billings, Brent Bischoff, Michael Bly, Abraham S. Bodenheimer, Marvin Red Bond, Eugene V. Bregman, Clarice Brightman, Phyllis Chaffin, Daniel Chasnoff, Selma Colton Churgan, Ida Cohen, Minnie Davis, Abe Eidelberg, Ernest Espinoza, Myron Fink, Justa Fong, Matilda Forchheimer, Joseph Geisler, Willie Germany, Violet Gershowitz, Norma Greenberg, Annie Hampton, Minette Herman, Tzvi Hockman, Elmer Jacobs, Francis Callison, Sarah Menick Carmel, Helen Katz, Ruth Kern, Hilda Kirsch, June Krawitz, Charlotte Lippman Lee, Gus Levine, Malcolm Lewis, Chip Levine, Sharon Levine, Madeline E. Libby, Gertrude Trudy Markson, Edgar May, Perry Mexic, Shirley Ruth Meyerson, Jean Muir, Hilda Anise Pomerantz, Harry Ringel, Dorothy Rosenthal, Sarah Lee Sack, Leo Schaefer, Dorothy Schwartz, Marvin Seelig, Sylvia Sugarman, Cheryl Lebo Solsar, Herbert Train, Reba R. Viner, David Voltz, Kenneth Walker, Sam Weinstein, Harold Weiss, Herbert Wolf. We also are observing Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, for Gerald Dubinsky Sr., Benedito Oliveira, Samuel Wagner Stewart, Jody Hoffer, Herbert Charles, Pedro Rosas Jr. And we are observing Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning, for Pamela Gold Keegan, sister-in-law of Irene Ayala Brian Keegan. To all these names, we add those in our own hearts and thoughts as we rise for the Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'yizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudisha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, and we all say together, amen. You may be seated. Our closing song is Adon Olam on page 321. Only it's to a familiar yet unusual melody. We're going to do verses 1, 2, and 5. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra, le'itnasa v'chefzo kol azay melech shemo nikra, ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora, ve'hu haya ve'hu hove ve'hu yeh betifara. Last verse. Ve'yado afkid ruchi ve'tishan be'ayira, ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira.
We will invite you all to go ahead, if you're on Zoom, unmute yourselves so we could wish one another a Shabbat Shalom and a happy new year, a happy 2021. No one's unmuting. Oh, I think, are you all locked out?
Yes, not now.
Just wave. No, we can hear you.
Okay.
Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
New Year.
Happy, healthy New Year.
Healthy,
Safe New Year.
Good to see everybody.
Very good to
It's
see
great to
y'all.
see you all.
Shabbos.
Be safe.
Shabbat Shalom.
Happy New Year.
Shalom.